All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alara Canfield Show, the Awaken Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today, my good friend Analarai is back. It's been a while. So she's back with us today, and we're going to be talking about the opportunities of today and tomorrow. Something like that. That's a kind of like a makeup title I made up, but something about that. And we're going to talk about how the energies are changing on the planet, why it's important to take advantage of new opportunities. We're going to be taking live caller questions as well, and Ana-La-Rai is going to do a process and maybe some channeling as well. So for those of you who don't know Ana-La-Rai, she, like I said, has been on our show before, but it's been a while. And she is an emissary of love and a universal channel for many ascended masters, collective consciousnesses, and enlightened beings. As a universal channel, Ana-La-Rai is unlimited in the beings of light she channels and works with, allowing for groundbreaking opportunities and profound experiences based on the newest frequencies available to humanity and the planet. So currently, she has channeled over 70 different light beings and collectives, and she acts as a universal translator and facilitator for the highest frequencies available to support humanity and the planet at this time, the time of the awakening. So all that, just to say she's really talented. She has a high vibe soul doing her mission, and we're so glad that she's here with us today to share a little bit about what's coming up, what we can expect, how we can, start to open up to new opportunities, but to take advantage of new opportunities and whatever else. So again, if you are here in the Zoom with us and you'd like to ask a question, you can raise your hand or you can type a question in the chat. Right. So Ana-La-Rai, welcome back to the show. It's been a while. So glad you're here.
Thank you, Alara. Thank you for having me again. It's lovely to be here. And I haven't done it this way on Zoom before, so this is kind of fun too. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Welcome, everybody.
Awesome. So I'm so glad. So let's just get into it. What should the title have been for today's talk? I put something about today and tomorrow.
Well, I think really the title should have been the new energies and new opportunities. So I think that's really, where we start. And I think as we get started, what I'd love to do is just start by connecting everybody to the light. So whether you're listening to this as a recording or you're here with us live on Facebook or Zoom, it'll all work. So let's everybody close their eyes and just consciously connect to your highest self and just see, feel, or sense as we bring in that pure source light. And just allow yourself to receive this beautiful light coming in. And just ask again to consciously to connect to your higher self or your highest self. And just allow this light to come in. And while we're talking today, I'm also going to do I'm getting to bring in some diamond light as well. And the diamond light is the newest wave of ascension energies. And normally, like when I do the Alchemy Global Meditations on Tuesday, we work with the diamond light a lot. So we're going to bring in some white, pink, and gold for the whole time we're running our show today. So just feel that come into your crown chakra, and your highest self will sort of regulate whether the amount you get white, pink, or gold. They all carry the codes of remembrance of who you are on all levels. The white is the base, the gold is for healing, and the pink supports the human body. And everybody is welcome to call on this for 30 consecutive minutes twice a day, one of those times as you go to bed. And you can call on one color or two or three. And just feel we're going to have that running in the background, okay? Cool. So,
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's been really interesting. I don't know about you, Alara, and other, guests and people you've talked to and everybody in the audience, but I find the last 6 months, especially, maybe, the last year, there have been so many new processes comes in for healing, for shifting. There has been so much new energy. There's so much new, it's almost overwhelming. In the best way. And I find that what I really want to share with people is how important it is to try and stay on top of a little bit of what's happening, or a little bit of the new energy, because so often we have old processes or processes that worked for us in the past and still work, but there's so much opportunity to shift things much faster now with all the new processes and all the new opportunities. And I know there's lots of beings of light bringing them through. That it seems to be the focus from all of my guides, and as you said, I work with so many, is that to get humans to remember. That seems to be the overwhelming, with lots of love and lots of nudges, let's get these human beings to remember their magnificence, who they really are. Is that what you're finding as well with others?
Oh, absolutely. It's about remembering who you are and your magnificence, but it's also about remembering that anything is possible, that whatever you'd like to create is possible. And the energies right now are moving so fast, as well. They're like, it's like, this is, I just got the word, this is quantum. We're at the quantum level, functioning at quantum speed. So it's like, whatever you desire, whatever you want to make happen and bring to fruition, it's much faster and easier to do that now if you're staying in that focus.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's unfortunately, it can also work on the negative way. That if you really get stuck in the, woe is me, and I'm not good enough, and I'm in lack, then you can manifest more of that really quickly. So I think that how we focus our energy and our thoughts these days is really important, really important, because you want to stay, aligned every day. And yeah, we all get triggered and we all have things that irritate us. That's just human stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I think that having a daily practice, whatever it is, like when you connect to the light, when you start your day and you set your intentions, and maybe you use it, the violet flame to clear your energy, or maybe you have another practice that you use. Whatever it is, you want to align every day. You want to get connected and connect to your highest self and to source every single day. And it was interesting about it, I don't know, a year ago, my guide stopped using the term higher self, and they started saying highest self, Highest. And it was really interesting, because I know everybody has different names, whether they call that their soul, their God presence, their monad, like there's so many different terms out there, but this made it simple. And so whatever it is, we've been connecting now to our highest self, and feels like there's so much more opportunity to bring that energy into your physical body and into your space. And of course, as you're saying, to be able to manifest what you want in your life, because the energies are so quantum, so very quantum. One of the things that I've found is that, and I'll share a little bit, some of you who follow the alchemy know this, one of the really big shifts that's happened this year that astounded me, absolutely astounded me, is the new consciousness for Earth was birthed. And that was in April. So last September, she came through from the fifth dimension. It was like they used the analogy of birth, and the soul went into Mother Gaia's womb. And so last September, we saw that and felt it, the people that were at the gathering. And it was so profound. Everybody cried, because, we've all been waiting for this for lifetimes, right? For this, the transition, for the shift. And so here we were, and we got to put our hands on Gaia's womb and feel the energy of this little one. And quite frankly, I thought at the time, that it would be another few years. That was sort of me as person, thought, okay, wow, this is a big step, just a huge step, that she's even come from 5D into the earth plane so that she can be birthed. And so in April, when she came forth, I was dumbstruck. On the morning of the last day when it happened, usually on the last day is our biggest work. And the guides shared with me and they usually share with me, because I never ask in advance what's happening. It's just not what I ever do. I've always just said, okay, let it be what it is. And when they told me that morning, I started to cry, and I thought, oh my God, I must be hearing this wrong. I must be getting this wrong. And I turned to my husband. I said, oh my God, I'm getting this message. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. And he looked at me and he said, Analarai, there is zero chance that on day 5 of a gathering with the energies that are coming in, and it's you, that this information is wrong. Just go with it. And it was so profound that we told the whole group before I started channeling, because I knew that the energy would break if we started. And so having the new consciousness come through has been, for me, one of the most significant opportunities and changes that, well, in our lifetime. And the cool thing is, I'll share a little bit of how it works. And so Gaia is completing her contract, to be Mother Gaia, to be the holder of the energies for Earth. And the little one has finally chosen her name, and her name is Kari-La, Kari space La, Kari-La. And she's not going to be Mother Kari-La, because we don't need a mother anymore. The new energies are going to be very different. And so she's starting. And so what's happening right now, and I have no idea of time frame, is that Gaia is teaching her and mentoring her, as are many beings of light that have come from around the universe. And she's growing, just like still with the analogy of a child. And she's taking on more responsibility and more of the energies. So they're going like this. So Gaia's up here and she's down here, and they're going to go like this. And then at one point it'll be 50-50. And then Kari-La will take on more and more of the energetics, and Gaia will eventually complete her contract and leave. And Gaia wants everybody to know, don't be sad. She's, loved her contract to hold the energetics of planet Earth, but she's going on to other things, right? For her own soul and her own development. And Kari-La is the energies I feel most with her is lots of excitement, lots of joy, and then this energy of rejuvenation, and we've been told to sort of not bother her, not go in and bug her, because she's just a little one and she's learning a lot. But she pops in fairly regularly with me, and I get these funny, like someone's on over my shoulder, what's that? What are you doing? What's this? And she's doing with about 20 of us that she asked permission to see through our eyes, because she hasn't had a lifetime on Earth in a long time.
How
so
exciting.
It is, it's just like, whoa. And then what she just started doing this week is, or last week, is she's starting to come through now with energy. And so we created a new word in English, because there was no word. So her energies, and you'll probably get to feel them today, there's a lot of energy of rejuvenation, right? So, and to me, rejuvenation is taking what we've had before and bringing it back to its state of origin, right? You're rejuvenating it. So there's this rejuvenation energy, but she's bringing in all this new energy that is totally different. And we're not going back to Atlantis or Lemuria or what we were. This has never been done. It's all new. And so the word that they've showed me and what we've picked is nuvenation. So it's the nuvenation energies is what she's holding and bringing through, so that everybody has the chance and she's just so much fun, and she's so joyful. We
need some of that. We need that energy. Yeah.
Do we ever? And it's just been amazing to feel the difference. And, I think as light workers and love workers and just awakened beings, many of us have waited since we woken up for something, right? We've been waiting. And, we've talked about, and what was it, 2012, there was all this hope about seeing the ships and everything. And it, there was, the guides said later that the biggest drop on the planet energetically was after December 2012, when all the light workers just were crushed that there wasn't this big shift, right? And so now we want to tell people, we want to let people know that it's happening, it's changing, she's here. And what's the human time frame? Who knows?
Right.
Not our business.
It's always different than what we think it's going to be.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think that I don't think anybody I know would have said the last 2 years would have looked like what they thought the awakening would be, right?
Yeah.
No, not
absolutely
at all.
Not. It was
no.
it was extreme. It was life changing. It was a lot.
Yeah, if we'd all known that would coming, we'd all have quit.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, but that's just been the way it is, like I think that with the energies now, what I really know is that we have no clue, right?
Yeah.
We just don't know. And you want to open your heart and you want to connect to the light every day, and you want to connect to source and align yourself. And what I would say to people is, these days with the energy so strong and so much opportunity, you really want to do your best to clear your old wounds, to clear your beliefs that don't serve you anymore. Because as Alara was saying, because we're in these quantum times, all of those things get amplified. How many of you, just raise a hand for a second, how many of you feel when the energies are amplified and things are happening?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So the more you can connect to the light, and the more you can stay aligned or use the opportunities that are coming through, I think the easier it's going to be for all of us. And of course, as each one of us changes, as each one of us becomes and remembers more of who we are and our magnificence and our gifts, it helps all of planet Earth, right? It helps all of humanity. And of course, it helps with the transition.
And, I think it's important what you just said, is that to see the changes as an opportunity, not as, oh my God, what's going on? Like, instead of being in fear and doubt and just, all that stuff. And it's like, it's an opportunity for us to grow. And it's an opportunity for us to know who we are. It's an opportunity for us to see what wounds and stories are coming up, so that we can finally let them go, heal them, right? It's not just about letting go, but really getting the truth of them and then letting them go. Yeah.
And if you look at the last couple of years, really, it's all been fear-based, right?
Yeah.
When all of this started in March 2020, my guides came through in the very beginning days, and they said, and to this day they remain saying it, it's a fear implant. And it's done the best job you could ever imagine, because I think everybody on planet Earth in these last 2 years has dealt with fear. And no matter what side of the coin they were on, whether you had fear of getting sick, fear of dying, fear for your family, fear of losing your job, fear of being vaccinated, fear of being unvaccinated, like, everybody's been hit. I don't know almost anyone that hasn't had some fear come up. And it is an opportunity. It's felt like crap a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really an opportunity to see where your stuff is, to see where are you still holding fear, where are you at, and the more that we can remember who we are and be in love instead of fear, or even neutral and not be in fear, the better it is for all of us, for us as individuals and for humanity.
And it's funny, because one of my fears during the past 2 or 3 years has been about not being able to see my parents again, right? Because they're in Canada, I'm here, I couldn't travel because of many reasons,
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh my God, what if I don't see my parents again? It's like, my kids came, and my daughter was already here, but my son came to visit and all that kind of stuff, but my parents couldn't. So that was one of my fears, and that's like that's a real fear when you have loved ones that you haven't seen in a few years, and they're getting old, and they're sick or whatever. It's valid, but it just brought home to me so much. Like there were so many things going on in my head, so many energies coming up. It was like, then I had to just trust that, okay, if I don't, I'll still be okay. It'll still be okay.
And I think that's partly why we're so grateful for things like Zoom, like, the new level of technology that surprisingly came in around the same time, for people to stay connected. And it's not the same as having a hug or
It's not,
dinner,
or
cooking
getting,
dinner,
your food,
playing cards.
like,
Yeah,
I know that's the
absolutely.
thing. It's like my mom would always cook everything for me and make me my favorite sweets and cut up all the mango and like everything,
Yeah.
So it's like I need that, especially the past 2 years. I really needed that. So
Yeah, but it really shows us, where our fears are and where our character lies. And the more that we can be who we are and the more aligned we become with source, I think what also happens is you feel you get to observe the manipulation, and you get to observe and feel the truth. So you get to see all the stories we're being told, and you get to feel where the truth is, and then you get to make your own decisions.
And you get to see what feels right for you or what doesn't feel right for you, like what is triggering you and what is not triggering you, and what makes sense, and what doesn't, right? So it's really about being in your own awareness as well, and tapping into your truth of what is right for you and not, right? And so, and then when those fears are coming up or when you're being triggered, seeing them, because a lot of times we go into reaction mode, right? We're not really able to fully comprehend what's going on and really fully be aware of what's happening within us. We're just like reacting, right? So just being able to be aware of, okay, this is what's coming up, and and then if you can go down the rabbit hole and find out where it started from, like if you can actually be objective about it and not getting to the emotions, it can be a really powerful time of opportunity.
It is. And the hard thing is, I've had a few friends that the challenge with the rabbit hole is some people get lost in it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they stay in a negative energy and they stay in fear. So, when you're doing your research on whatever it is, or when you're looking at everything, you're right. You want to stay neutral, but you want to stay out of the emotion of it, because that's where, when you think about it, that's where all the fear has been running on our emotional things. Fear of loss of family, fear of loss of job, fear of, food shortage, you name it. There's some fear going now. But this is what's so exciting with the new earth consciousness with Karila, is there's none of that energy. It's just this pure joy, excitement, rejuvenation. And so I choose consciously 98% of the time to put my focus there. And yes, as a human, I still get triggered occasionally. And, when I see at the beach yesterday, a mom with her little 6-year-old kid wearing a mask at the beach, it triggers me, I'll be honest. But then I go, okay, why is that still triggering me? Those are their choices, because I really try and honor people's choices. But it really is, where do you focus your attention? Are you looking at all the positive things that are happening? Are you looking at the love that's growing and the energy on the planet and the opportunities? Or are you still focused on the fear? Or where on the fear are you focused? And
absolutely. And part of this has to do with being present, right? So that you can become aware of what is going on. And I think that's as you talked about your daily practice, it's going to help you to become more present in the moment, instead of in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your stories, etc. Right? So the key for me has been for the past 2 years, how to be more present in the now, how to be more present in this moment, instead of going into fear about what's going on with my husband, what's going on with my parents, what's, this and that. The other thing is like, okay, in this moment, everything is, okay.
And in this actual moment, it is, right?
Yeah.
But it's and so we're really being taught to be conscious and to look at where our focus is and how we choose to live our life. So it feels like, to me, that we are being asked to move into mastery. We're being asked individual, and nobody came down and said, hey, it's time for mastery. But if you look at it all, that's what's happened. We're all being asked to live what we say we believe. So if I really believe in the light, if I really believe in source, if I really believe that I can manifest, then how am I creating my life?
Mhm.
You know, so we are all being given this opportunity for mastery.
So it's about walking the walk, talking the talk, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love what and Chi wrote, be love
Yeah.
on purpose. Yeah, it is. It's really about, it's easy to say be the love. And, when you're out in the forest or, you're shopping in your favorite store, it's just so easy.
Yeah.
But when you're like right here and there's things going on that are challenging in your life or your finances or your family, that's when you really find out, okay, can I really be the love? Can I see the positive in this? Or how do I best respond rather than react, as you mentioned earlier?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
And and choosing, it always comes down to choosing or making a decision of how you're going to be, how you're going to be in the world, interact in the world, engage with the world, what you're deciding to focus on. It's all about that, because we have control over that.
I agree completely. It is all choice. And it's
Yeah.
it's funny, I was talking to Christian the other day, and I said, even when you're in a relationship, when you're in a partnership, you choose, sure, you feel emotion and you feel love for that person, but you choose each and every day to stay with that person or to live with that person. And it's the same thing. You choose how you respond or react. You choose whether you're going to be love or not. That's why we're conscious. We're not like the animals where it's just instinct. We get to choose. And now is the time to really look at our choices.
And look at the choices that are showing up for you as opportunities. So bringing it back to opportunities and this new energy that we're in, everything that's coming up now for you is an opportunity for change, for growth, for awareness, for making different choices.
Yeah, it's one of the things I find is, when I get triggered, do you use that term? People would all know what being triggered is, when you're like, you're irritated by someone or something and have the scrunchies. After the initial, I always feel so grateful because it's showing me a place I'm not healed. It's showing me a wound I still have. And, it does take some practice to get to that point where you can go, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for annoying the heck out of me. But then you really do, then you get to go in and do the work. And in these energies, it leaves so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
And the work is going to continue. As much as we are tired of doing the work.
Yeah.
The work is going to continue.
Yeah. I find now when I'm doing private sessions with clients, I'm amazed how fast things are moving and how, we're doing work now that would have taken months to do on an individual level, and we're doing it in days. And so the speed of change is just amazing. So we really do have opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. So recognize that, like everything is happening really fast. So you get to choose which way you want to go, and so, and the thoughts that are coming into your awareness, it's like, really, it's like tapping into them and saying, yes, no, maybe, but then taking action on it. For me, it's like, at the moment, something has been in my mind and I'm like thinking about it. And then it's like, okay, do I want to take action? No, I have to wait a week. I'm busy for the next week. After that, I will think about it. Right. But at the same time, it's still in the back of my mind, something that I want to do. So it's like, okay, yes, it's coming through. Yes, it feels good. Yes, I can do it. Yes, yes, yes. But I just have to wait a week because just timing. And then I will think about it in more detail. But if you do that with yourself, if you, recognizing when you're having, new awarenesses or new insights or new opportunities coming up, saying yes, but it might be yes, but next week, and that's okay. Just don't say no right away. Just like, yes, but next week. Then I'll look at it in more detail.
That's great. And what I find now is that all kinds of new beings of light are coming through. And they tell me it's because the veils are thinning so much between us and the other dimensions, and because the vibration on Earth is rising so much. So on my guided full moon meditations and my one-day workshops, so many new beings who I've never heard of, that nobody's ever heard of, are coming through with, again, new gifts and processes and information. So it's just, I think it's one of the most exciting times to be alive on planet Earth. Now, you could also see it as one of the most challenging times, but I choose to see it as exciting because so much is happening.
And so much is possible, right?
So much is possible. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's so much growth happening right now. More and more people are waking up. More and more people are becoming aware of who they are or who they're not, you know?
Yes.
And so, so that's a huge shift for humanity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it's really awesome that way. Really awesome. Yeah.
So Linda had a question earlier. I thought maybe you might want to expand on that, since we were talking a little bit about channeling. And she was asking, could you please, how did you become a channel?
Well, I think my contract was in invisible ink, as I said to someone today. So I never wanted to be a channel. I had no idea. That just wasn't in my wheelhouse. And when I first went to my very first spiritual retreat, it was a 2-week silent retreat, and it was never silent. And my guides got me there. I didn't know them as my guides then. And I was as green as they come. And so I was asked to be a teacher, to do this program for a year, to be a water healer. And I started that process. And then the next retreat, my teacher at break got up and said, okay, you're going to channel. I'm like, whoa, there's no way. There's no way. And she said, oh, no, you're going to. I'm like, oh no, but there's no saying no to that woman. And so after the break, when we had 25 people and I was walking the room, and I could feel all this energy come into me. And it was like, for me in the beginning, it was like a great big movie screen. And I would just explain what I saw. But I didn't know that I was also holding the energy at the same time. I was unaware of that. And so a little bit of thing came in that was distorted, and then it all got corrected, and it was quite amazing. And then I said to the guides, I have to know that what I bring through is truth. I can't do this if it's going to be distorted, or I have to always worry about it. So when I started with the alchemy 9 years ago, that was my contract with them. So and now, if you want to be a channel, one of the most important things in my books is you have to clear your own stuff. Because you can't, because in our human form, the distortions come through, right? Your beliefs, your fears, all of that. So you have to be really good at clearing your own stuff so that you can hear clearly. And they named me a universal channel. I had never heard of that. I didn't know what it was. But what the guides tell me, it's because I can bring through any being of light or collective. So they tell me that I have like an antenna on a house. And because a lot of channels only bring through words, but I bring through words and vibration, which I guess is a little more unusual. So this is why I have so many beings of light that line up to work with me. And when you said at the beginning, Alara, when Christian put up some stuff on the website, he said, do you know you have more than 70 beings of light you've channeled? I'm like, you're kidding. Like, I was in shock. I think it's over 80 now. And there were more than 100 recordings that are still valid of tools and processes that we've been bringing through. And I'm like, wow. Wow. So it requires a very high degree of trust.
For sure. Yeah.
So when you start doing that, so I don't know, hopefully that answers your question, Linda, a little bit about how it happened. It was never, and like I said, I always felt like my contract was in invisible ink. So then it just started becoming more and more and more. And now there's just this constant conversation with the guides all the time. And I feel very blessed and supported by them.
Awesome. Thank you. And we're so glad that you are able to channel so many and get all these wonderful processes and information. So thank you. I like that. Invisible ink. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Caroline has had her hand up for a while. Do you want to take another question?
Sure.
Caroline, you want to unmute yourself? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe not.
Yes.
Yes, there she is.
Hi, love. Hi,
Hello.
love. I'm in my spaceship.
That's what I
great
figured. I
place
figured
to
she's in her
be.
car.
Yeah. So beautiful. Oh.
What can I answer for you? Or
Mhm.
try to answer for you?
Exactly, right? Yeah. So I'm being guided right, left, center to move. Is that an inner move? Or is that an actual outer move of my physical home? Because every time I go in there, I feel heavy.
Yeah, it feels like as soon as you started talking to it, I saw you moving houses, and you might be moving cities even. It really feels like it's a time for you to be in another physical location. And that process, they're telling me, will also allow you to do a lot of clearing out of the old that that no longer serves you, both in physical stuff and energetically. So it is, how long have you lived where you are now?
Anywhere 12 to 13 years, yeah.
It feels like it really holds an old energetic for you, and it feels kind of stuck. And so it's really time to get out there and have some fun and find a place that makes your heart sing. And always use your, you want to hear, if you some people hear, so if you hear, you want to hear that this is it, but also you feel it when you go in, right? You feel it in your body. When I was house hunting, just a real quick note here, what I did is I called on my guides and I anchored a pillar of light in the property where it was for my highest good to be. I never saw it, like I didn't want to see it. I just anchored it. And every day, twice a day at bedtime and in the morning, I would just re-anchor it. I would just say, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I looked at many, many houses. And then one day, all of a sudden I anchored it and it went through the house and I went, oh my God, something's changed. I later found out it was the day they listed the house. And I had looked at like 40 some houses. It was the first time I bought a house. And when I walked into the one that I bought, I went, oh my God, I could feel the energy. I knew immediately it was my house, and I had an offer in on another one. So it was a great way. It's how we did this house where Christian and I live. And a lot of people have tried it and it works really well, but you have to let go of what you think you want. What we did was we did a must-have. So it had to have how many bedrooms and bathrooms and a few things, and everything else was pretty much on the nice-to-have list. And so good luck with your move.
Mm-hmm. My process has been this or something better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the confirmation.
Try anchoring the light and see how that goes.
I will, absolutely. Thank you.
Good. Awesome. Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ana-La-Rai, for that great process, because that, I'm sure that will be helpful to a lot of people who are thinking of moving or would like to move.
Yeah, and it's so easy, and you just feel it. It's so easy.
Awesome. Gunjan, did you have a question? Yeah, you still have your hand raised from before, so I wasn't sure if you had a question or if that was just raised from before. Maybe not. If not, we'll go to Rebecca. Rebecca, would go ahead, Rebecca?
Yes, kind of a similar question.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi. I am currently staying with a girlfriend since August 1st. I had to leave my previous home very quickly due to a domestic violence situation. And so I've been doing the healing work from that experience. And I just signed up last night for this 90-day program to help me like super launch my business, my healing work, and the business aspect of it as well. And that's going to be my primary focus. So I just need to find somewhere quickly where I can land to allow me to focus on my work. And I don't know, like there's several different options, but I'm just sort of looking for guidance, I guess.
Well, I would use the same process that I just talked about to anchor the light where it's for your highest good. And I think that if you have several options, if you can actually go and physically see or feel them, that really helps. And because your body will tell you as you go in, like, do you feel expansive and excited to be there, or you think, ooh, and you know, you all of those kinds of things. And what I'm getting to tell you is to remember, this doesn't have to be, this next move doesn't have to be your forever home. Okay, so if you go with that mind that it might be temporary, it might be a shorter time frame, a year, I'm not sure, that might make it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them, like one idea a friend gave me today is just to go to a Airbnb for like a month and a half or whatever. And
Yeah. And some of those will give you a much discounted rate if you're staying more than 30 days. So you want to, on Airbnb, you want to look for those, because not all of them do, but that is a possibility.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And the guides want me to tell you, congratulations on having the courage to leave the abuse.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Rebecca. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Linda, go ahead. Linda has a question. Another
Okay.
question?
Hi. How
Hi.
are you, Anna?
I'm great, thank
Finally
you.
got to see me. Okay. My question is, do you see any changes in my relationships with my spouse?
Okay. How would you, I'm first getting to ask you, how would you categorize your relationship currently?
Rough.
Okay. So the only thing that I see coming up is this wide open freedom. So I just see this like open horizon for you.
Okay.
So whether you choose to see that as staying or going, but I see this wide open horizon of freedom where there's just opportunity for you. So it doesn't feel like the relationship is going to improve a lot. The patterns are long and old, and yeah. So I see really this openness of something new.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. First time you asked that question. I say. All right. So we have a few more people to hand raise, but there's some questions in the chat as well. And another Linda says, I can feel so many downloads coming in, me, but having a challenge bringing it to conscious understanding and expression to pass on to others. Any suggestions to make that more accessible to myself and others?
So with downloads, I don't try to understand them, because if I'm supposed to understand them, they give me the information. So often I don't see downloads as something you have to necessarily understand or even share, because they can be just for you to help you in a way that you're not even aware of. So if you really need to know what it's about, then usually there'll be some guidance that comes with it, or some knowingness about what this is. I mean, I used to, and just know that you can set boundaries around downloads. I used to be walking around in the grocery store. This was several years ago, and I'd always get these downloads in the grocery store. I don't know what it was, and I'd have to like grab the cart and hold on, because they were so strong I would almost want to fall over. So when that started happening, I said to my guides, never ever ever when I'm driving, you know, never ever ever, you know, in here, these places. Now I don't usually get them in the grocery store, but I never knew what they were. I just trusted. So yeah.
Yeah, and just trust. I mean, if you are doing healing work or guidance or whatever, then if those downloads are meant to be for other people, they'll come through your, frequency and vibration, through your voice, through whatever work you're doing, that, if they're meant for other people, they'll come through to them anyways. So you don't always have to know what it's about. That's our mind getting in the way, trying to figure things out. Just be willing to receive. And then it's like, okay, well, I'm receiving these downloads. I don't know what they mean, but if I need to know, can you please somebody tell me?
Yeah.
Can you please let me know?
Yeah.
Or ask your higher self. I always, for me, my go-to is always my highest self first before anybody else.
Yep.
So ask. I'm sorry, my throat's going on me now. All right. Venus says, thank you for sharing your beautiful gig with humanity. Which one of your processes is most helpful to open to our clairs, our gifts?
I would say, well, they're all so different, but I would say that if I were making one recommendation for people that will give them the most bang for their buck, I would say, and those of you who work with me, just tell me if you agree with this, is the Advanced Chakra Program with Lord Shiva. And there's two parts, there's actually 3 parts to it. And the first one is, oh, pardon me, what he teaches us and what he does that came through a couple of years ago is that with the changing vibrations on planet Earth, that the chakra system has never been complete. And the gurus and everybody else never knew it. They never knew what to look for. And so Shiva comes through in this, it's a recording package now, and he completes your chakra program. So you never have to open your chakras again. You never have to clear them again. It is completely connected as a full system, and it's always working. So, and then the part 2 that you can get separately is the one we just finished a number of weeks ago. And it was, he called it the bridging. And he then took those that have the advanced chakras, he then took, and we created bridges from 5D and higher that he actually created into the human form so that the energies would flow much faster and easier into your chakras from the higher frequencies. And it's been amazing. Yeah. So a couple of people here that are with us have done the program. And yeah, I think that's the one that I would recommend first for people, because it gives you the biggest change and you don't have to do any work. He does it all for us. Which is unusual, right? Like it's really a gift because he goes in and does all the work. So
awesome. Good. Yeah. Thank you. And did you want to add something to that?
Yes, actually, it is quite an amazing program. So if you can take it at all, it's well worth doing, and it's kind of fascinating also. So yeah, I think it's great. Great program,
awesome.
Analarai.
Thanks, Anne.
Awesome. Thank you, Anne. All right. And then there's a question from Angela. And she asked, do you see any changes in relationship for me?
Oh, that's not who already asked?
No.
Okay, so just 1 second. So Angela, how would you classify your relationship now?
Yeah, Angela, if you want to unmute or you want to type in the chat. Silent. Silent. The relationship is silent. Yeah. Meaning it's not good.
Okay. So let's see here. All right. So it feels very similar to the information we gave Linda. Is it feels like that it's I feel bad sometimes saying this, but it feels like it's not really going to improve, and that it's like it almost feels like you've stayed too long already. But I also know that in the 3D, there's all kinds of challenges around that, you know, for anyone. And it's like you have grown in very, very different ways. And to get, To go back to where the relationship would work would almost be soul crushing for you. And that's the words they're using. I'm sorry to say that, but it's like you would have to stuff who you are so much. And now that you are beaming so much light, that would be very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm sorry to give you that news.
I think she knows. Anyways, can you hear my dog snoring or no? No, okay. Because he's lying here snoring away. And it's like, oh God. Okay. She said, I know, thank you. Yeah, okay, good, awesome. All right. I didn't know we were gonna have so many people with questions today. Sarah, do you want to unmute yourself?
Thank you. I would be delighted. Well, my initial question was about a book that I wrote about 11 years ago and got blocked publishing it then. And I'm wondering now, I just don't seem to go forward with it. If I'm supposed to publish it at all. It's called Spiritual Bankruptcy and How to Avoid It. But now I'm wondering, because also relationship, that I was told years ago that I would have a very pleasant relationship, but not a deep soul love. And that's the one I'm in now. It's very pleasant, but it's not that deep connection if there's another one out there.
Okay. So on the book, the first thing I'm getting is, is to take the pages, like, or do you have some pages? Do you have it in paper?
Yeah, 300 pages.
Okay, and hold it to your heart and muscle test with it. And ask, is it for the highest good, So I like the muscle testing where I rock, you have to always be hydrated when you do it. That's a key. And, always check your yes and no first before you start it, right? Show
Also
me.
douse.
Yeah. And go in and check there.
Wow. That's great.
And then your body will tell you. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
And the other thing you could do, if you want, you could send it out to a few publishers and see if anybody is interested in it. But what I've been told by people who write books is that a lot of the books coming out now are written in weeks, like they just flow out of them. So
I channeled this one. I did channel it.
Okay. So, but I would muscle test and see what you get on it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And anything on the relationship thing?
Okay. So, well, this is interesting. So the relationship you have now allows you to have a more peaceful, good life. And it allows you to do some things in your life that if you were in the other kind of relationship you're talking about, you would not be able to do. So because the deep soul connection that you're talking about would show up most likely as very tumultuous.
Oh.
So it would be a very up and down, kind of like that twin flame stuff where you mirror every wound each other has.
No, we're the person I'm with now, we both had our wounds and dealt with them, so I'll just stick.
Yeah, but what they're also saying is there is the potential, and it might even be with someone on here, which is really interesting. There's the potential of a more deep friendship with another person, not an intimate relationship, but an actual friendship, and that might help you enough to to be open to look for that.
Illuminating. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. All right, we're going to take 2 more questions and then we're going to move on because there's still some other stuff we want to do.
Yeah.
Colin, do you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Analarai. I don't have a question. I just want to say how radiant you're looking, firstly, bouncing back from what you had a few days ago. And I can actually see like if you have had a transformation, because the light coming out from you is so intense, it's unbelievable. I know you radiate a lot of light normally, but today it's extra. I can feel it and see it. And I just want to let whoever's listening to this to this workshop, this seminar, that if you haven't worked with Analarai, you need to do so. She is amazing. She brings through some of the most intense light. She's has honesty. She brings through truth. She comes with compassion, and she's such a lovely person. And everything comes true. So whatever you need to clear, you connect to Analarai, and she'll get it done for you. And it's a wonderful thing to have you back, Analarai. It's such a joy. Thank you, guys.
so much, Colin.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you, Colin. All right, Gunjan, you have your hand raised. Yep. You want to unmute yourself?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Gunjan.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we
Yeah.
can.
Hi. Hi, Anna. Hi.
Hello.
My question is about how to remain compelled who are stuck in their suffering. You know, like I don't want to get drawn down into their suffering, but I don't want to just cut them off.
Oh, is this friends
so
and family?
That's my question.
Is this
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And that's always a challenge for all of us, because many of us, well, at least I know, have family members that are not as awake, or maybe you have them and they're awake, but they have totally different beliefs than you, and sometimes that's really hard, especially for those that is their spouse, right? That is, you're more awakened and the spouse isn't. So one of the first things I would say, Gunjan, is to be aware that you're moving into judgment every time you look at it, right? So you're judging them as being, because they're not awake or because they're in suffering. So first of all, take a look at that, okay? And then the second thing is, sometimes I have some friends I still see that aren't awake, not many of them anymore, but I just love them for who they are. And if stuff around suffering or really difficult stuff that I don't resonate with comes up, I change the subject sometimes, so that I allow them to be, and I just love them for who they are. And I go, and I know that I'm going to go and just beam love and light to them. And you don't have to listen to the stories of suffering. I've got some people that I had known in the past that, it was always complaining about this and that. I just changed the subject. I'd say, well, let's look at it differently. And so you have to hold your light while you're around them and just be really conscious about what it is. And then take a look at, why are you judging? Okay, because that's an internal piece to look at. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
And then pour the beautiful results
Lots
into
of
more of your
love.
painting.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Gunjan. Great question. Thank you. Okay, let me see where we are. All right, so I know that we're still going to do a short process, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll see if there's time for channeling. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the package that you have for us, for our community. So
Okay.
it's the top of the hour. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh my goodness, am I going to share my screen? I am going to share my screen. Yes. All right, so this package is available at alara.at/show/Ana-La-Rai8. And 1 second, there we go. And this includes the Arcturian healing chambers, 4 Arcturian healing chambers, pre-recorded healing sessions, plus a live group vortex healing session. So do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's really cool. I was all guided what to do. So I've never offered, I don't think, on any of the shows I've been on, the 4 Arcturian healing chambers. They've all come through at different workshops or gatherings. There are 12 Arcturian healing chambers on planet Earth, 1 off planet, so 13. And we've opened 4 of them. And these are the recordings where they opened. And each one is different. So there was Italy, Mexico, Vancouver Island, and then the Arctic chamber. And I can tell you, for those of you who are coming to the gathering in September, I've already been told there's going to be at least one more open, which is cool. Now, after you've listened to the recording, you can only use them once a month for 3 minutes. And they're really strict on that. But now that there's 4, you could do one different month. So 1 week you do Arcturian, Vancouver Island, 1 week you do Mexico, 1 week you do Italy, 1 week you do the Arctic, and they all have different pods and colors in them. So you go in and you choose, and they're amazing. They really, I still do them. They still really help. And the Arcturians created them, and they open basically vibrationally. So this is why there's 4 of them open right now. So they're really cool. And then with the full, so all of these pre-recorded sessions were guided full moons. And the first one is really amazing. So you're going to have an experience in a few minutes of your essence of purity. It is your energetic original blueprint. So we're going to connect you to your highest self, and Ana and I, that's the being I work with, will create a bridge, and we will download right into you your some of your original blueprint for about, we're going to do 5 minutes. But this one came, so we've been doing it just over under a year now. But on the full moon a couple months ago, Nan came through and said, after watching us for 9 months, the guides realized that because of the structure of our bodies and the density of our wounds, that the essence of purity was kind of spreading out all over. So this full moon, it creates a container in your heart so that you get more results faster with your original blueprint. So that's really cool. And you get a download then. And then the next one on oneness is with a new being that came through, Arandatak, and it is, I think it's 5 different experiences of pure connection. And I remember one of them, I think is a tree, but they have all kinds of different experiences where you actually get to feel that level of oneness and pure connection. It's really, really profound. And the third recording from the full moon is so cool. It is from April or May this year. So when I finished the gathering where Karila, where the little consciousness came through, a few days later after we got home, it was the guided full moon meditation. And I said out loud the day before without thinking, I said, oh, who's coming through? Which I almost never do. And I heard this little voice go, I am. And then I heard and felt the heavens rumbling, like there was this panic between all the enlightened ones and guides, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, she was birthed like 7 days ago and she wants to come through. So the next morning, on the morning of the full moon, Mother Gaia comes through and said, I will be introducing the new little one tomorrow. So this is her first introduction that went out into the world. And here you won't hear her name because she hadn't chosen her name yet, but you get to feel her energy, and it's really kind of cool. So that was how they compromised instead of letting her just jump in.
Awesome.
And then the group vortex healings I've done for several years, and they're still really cool. It's live. If you buy the package and can't be live, then we put you in anyway, and you receive all the benefits. And Archangel Raphael and Dr. Lorphan, who's head of the Galactic Healers, wanted to work together. And so they create this healing vortex, and there's other beings of light that come through now. And you go in and receive. And people tell me that they really have profound experiences with it. And if you have nothing that you want to release or heal, then you come and you just get this huge download of energy. And when you're not in the actual vortex, then you're in a space, a high energy space, where you use your own energetic tools to work on yourself. So, and it runs about an hour. So.
Awesome. So all of that is available for $99, and there are 2- and 3-part payment plans available, and also the special gift code from me, TACS10. Please do take advantage of that. Awesome. So that again is available at alara.at/show/Ana-La-Rai 8. I'm going to put the link in the chat as well, just in case people want to look at it while we're still here. Show Hold on, Ana-La-Rai. Okay, awesome. Good. Thank you.
Right.
All
So,
right.
yeah, so what I would do is, what I'm getting now is I would like to do a download of the essence of purity for everyone.
Awesome.
And so,
That would be great.
and those of you that are listening to this at a later time or date that aren't with us live, you will still get it, okay? Because there is no time and space when you start working with some of these beings of light, okay? All right, so I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Okay, so eyes closed, and I'm going to ask you to consciously connect with your highest self. So just imagine, however, your highest self is always within you, but a lot of us perceive the higher version of it outside of us, but you are always connected or you couldn't live. Okay, so just let me bring forth Non. And Non is from the family of El, and they are above the dimensions, above and beyond the dimensions. Greetings. I am Non, and we, Analarai and I, are of the family of El. And we want you to understand that your essence of purity is your original blueprint. It is the essence of who you are on all levels. And it is time for humanity to remember who they are. And so we have come forth to assist in this process. Feel now as I connect with your highest self, and Analarai will hold the energetics for the human self as we create a tunnel of light or a bridge, a conduit from each of your highest selves into the human form. And simply allow, we ask each of you to say yes or no. Would you allow this connection now? It is quite intense, and so we would say that none of you should be driving or moving. You should be stationary. And we are going to do 5 minutes. So feel now as we open the conduits to allow your individual essence of purity to flow. All you need to do is simply receive. And your infusion is now complete. And I share with you that in October of this year, Analarai and I will be doing 11 or 22 days of infusions. If you wish to join, I am Non, and we are of the family of El, and we dissolved the conduit and the bridge that connected you and allowed the downflow. And we share with you that if you listen to this more than once, you will only receive this with us the first time, for we monitor the energetics and support you during these downloads. Blessings to each of you. I am Non. That felt really strong on this end. How's everybody doing? Good.
That was really strong. Yeah, for sure. I was sweating, still sweating.
Yeah.
It was
It's really cool when we do, we're just finishing up in 11 days right now, because they do a small amount each day and it builds and builds and builds, because your body can't take a huge amount at once. And so people are really finding it helpful, really finding it helpful.
still yawning too.
Yeah. And that's, you get a download in the special offer, because the container in the heart really helps, because those of us who have it now are just feeling it even stronger. Wow. The minute you disconnected, I felt the absence of the energy, which was very powerful. Sneezing and running nose, tingling surge in the feet. Yeah, cool. So many people felt it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well,
yeah, lots of energy flowing, or was. I mean, I'm still feeling hot, but ooh, yeah, it's slowly dissipating.
Yeah.
Fell asleep. That's okay if you fell asleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And someone is asking a question I'd like to answer here in the chat, if that's okay with you, Alara.
Mhm.
I'd like to ask Ana-La-Rai how to regain the trust or behave when a close family member is lying to me, and I feel he is lying, but only sometimes I have physical proof. So that was Madalena.
Mhm.
So what I would say to you, Madalena, is you want to start to tune in. Truth has a vibration. And that's probably the easiest thing I can tell you, is that it has a vibration. You can feel it when you start tuning in, you can feel it. And you can also feel the untruth, right? It doesn't sit right. It feels different in your body than truth. And it's not about, the logic behind it. And I understand that you want to trust someone, but when they start lying, that's a slippery slope. That's really a tough space. So that's what I would say is to, and then when you call them on it, when you feel that it doesn't feel true, and you can say, this doesn't feel true to me. Yeah. So Alara, would you add something to that?
I would, honestly, when somebody's lying to you, there's lack of respect. There's, I wouldn't want to be treated that way. So it's like, I've had somebody lie to me in the past, and it's not fun. And that bond is broken a little bit, each time, so.
What we found out in the advanced chakras is that when you lie, whether it be to yourself or to others, it damages the throat chakra. Mm. It actually damages the throat chakra.
And it's also, like, if you're allowing the lies to continue, it's, you're hurting yourself, right? You're not honoring you. And you're basically saying that I'm not worth having truth be, part of our relationship. I would just, that's me, but
Yeah, yeah.
you do what works for you.
And
Okay, so
if I could just, I'd just like to share one thing, because I know we're wrapping up here. For those of you that, pardon me, that would like to work a little more with Karela, the new consciousness, the Alchemy Collective Consciousness, that's my divine service for the planet. We do free global meditations on Tuesdays. We're having our next gathering starting September 11th, and it's all online, and we have people from around the world. And she will be working with us every day. And the energy of nuvination will be coming through every day. So there's a 5-day option to join or a 1-day option to join, which is on the Sunday. Just one second, I'm just.
I think it's called the Alchemy Collective.
The Alchemy Collective Consciousness, and the website is the alchemycollective.org.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You want, I know Ellen has her hand raised, and there's a question in the chat as well. And Linda's asking, is one of your package igniting the chakras? Not in this package.
No,
Linda.
no, it's
not in
not
the offering here. No.
No. So maybe Ellen, do you want to unmute, and we'll take that as the last question? And
hello, thank you very much. Hello, Ana-La-Rai.
Hello, Ellen.
When there was the download at this moment, for my soul's essence, I connected somehow to my mother, and it was uneasy, which is in 3D as well. Do you get an information that is helpful for me now? Because my throat is...
Okay, so what's coming up is that because when we do this, it doesn't connect anywhere else. It's literally from your highest self to you. But what I get is that you disconnected here in the human because you were afraid to receive it.
Okay.
You were afraid to receive it, because I've never, in all the months I've done it, never had, no one else shows up, no one else. So you disconnected is what I got, and with the fear. So, all right. And I will mention, this might help a little bit. Any of you that want to go to my website, it's sparklesoflove.love. On the front page, I have a free gift as well. And it is a karma clearing recording. And I did it a few years ago, and it's really powerful. And my guides don't call it karma anymore, but that's what most people know it as. They call it past life energetic residue. So it's like when we weren't complete in another time and space with someone. So you might have to do it multiple times, usually with spouses or parents. Sometimes you could do it with one, but you could do it with people living or dead, or anyone you feel that, scrunchy with, that you're not in complete alignment with. And so any of you are welcome to download that free gift on the website as well.
Thank you very much, Ana-La-Rai. Awesome. Yes.
Welcome.
Very helpful.
Thank you. Alara,
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you so much for having me again. This has just been delightful. I've thoroughly enjoyed connecting with all your guests and with you, and this has just been fun. And the energy feels beautiful.
Yeah, and that energy was really strong, and even just like the whole call was wonderful, and all the questions that everybody asked. Yeah, it was wonderful. I'm so glad it all worked out.
Yes, it worked out perfectly, as we knew it would.
And thank you so much, everyone, for being here, for sharing your feedback as well with how you work with Analarai and all the questions. Thank you so much. Please do take a look at the package if you'd like to work more deeply with Analarai. It's available at alara.at/show/Analarai8. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.